Okay, it's Women's Month, and one of the key issues that happens around women is gender-based violence. So this is a story of my experience with that, but it's also in line with what I speak about. Specifically, this one is on how my savings actually saved me one day. It's a hard one to share, but anyway, let's try. So I always say your savings will save you one day, and this is not a glorious story at all. It's actually quite the opposite, but in a way that I didn't expect. My savings saved me. It was the 9th of October. It was just before matric final exams, because obviously it was October and exams are like October, November. This was beginning of October. A lot of students in my school did, what's this? It's biology. What's the name? Life sciences. Yes, they did life sciences and I didn't do life sciences. So there was going to be a matric excursion for all the life sciences students. So I was like, no man, I'm not going to go to school because I don't do life sciences. And I know that because there's so few people who don't do life sciences, we'll just be lurking around. We won't continue with much work. So I decided to skip a day and not go to school. I had a younger sister who stayed with me. Okay guys, I'll call them all my sisters because like we cousins, but in guess Zulu or Siswam, you know, and they lived with me. So it's odd to now call them cousins. I'm speaking English, so they're my sisters. So at home, the situation at that point, there was my older sister who stayed at home during the day when we were all out because she was already done with matric. And then there was me who was in matric, and then there was my younger sister who was in high school as well, and then there was my parents. So my parents were at work. I didn't go to school that day, and then my younger sister was at school. So I was with my older sister, the two of us having a job the whole day, chilling. I remember actually I was undoing my hair, guys. It was just after matric dance, and for a matric dance I had this ponytail. If you remember guys, ponytail, yeah, I had ponytail on my hair. So I was undoing it because the matric dance was somewhere in September earlier, so now it was like the hair is old. So I was undoing my ponytail, standing in front of the mirror in the bathroom, and my sister was sitting in the bathtub bathing. So I'm undoing my hair and we're busy gossiping. I can't remember about what, but we're busy there. And then all of a sudden I saw a guy in the mirror, and I turned and screamed and fell like in my sister's bath water. I'm like, oh, and I landed in the bath water, and the guy was like, why are you screaming when you see us? We're like, obviously because like we don't know you, but we didn't say anything. We're like, and then he was waving a bottle, like a broken bottle at us, and then I was like, who else is here? We're like, it's just us. And then he was like, stay here, stay here. Then I also saw another guy behind him, like the minute I fell in the bathtub. But then he quickly like rummaged through the house, and I just sat like there, soaked in the bath water with my legs still hanging out the bathtub, and my sister kind of let the water out. Then these guys started robbing our house belly. They went up and down. Then every now and again, like a few minutes, he'd come. Now he was coming with 2 knives from the kitchen. Hey, where are the guns? Where are the guns? We're like, we don't have guns. Anyway, my sister she was a bit brave. She was like, we don't have guns in this house. We have Bibles. And I was just like, we don't have guns, you know? I was like, we have Bibles. Anyway, that was very funny. Like he'd come back like, where are the black refuse bags? Because he wanted, I guess, to like store all the stuff. Then we'd say, no, in the cupboard. We'd tell him which cupboard, but obviously we still like chilling in the bath. And whenever he'd go, we still like couldn't lock or anything because there was no key for that bathroom at home. I don't know why we didn't have keys for the bathroom, but we didn't. So we were just chilling there, so scared, so traumatized. And I remember then that guy came, like one of the final times he came to us, he was like, okay, where are the guns? Like literally, like there's no gun in this house. And he's like, no, where's the gun? Where's the gun? We insisted there is no gun. And then he pulled me by my hair, that unfinished ponytail. So he pulled me up from the bathtub, and then he was like, "When I come here," and then he's like, "Take off your clothes." I'm like, no, no, please. And then he's waving this knife at me. He's like, "No, take off your clothes now." And I'm like, "No, there's money. I can give you money. I can give you money." And he's like, "Where? Show me." And then I walked with him to my room, and I was a matric, but I was actually selling biscuits. So I used to bake melting moments biscuits and sell them at school. So I accumulated quite a lot of money. So I gave him my whole stash of savings that I'd made. So I was like, "Here's the money, here's the money." So I gave him like all the money. Most of it, a lot of it was coin, but some of it was also like paper money. So I'm like, "Here's the money, here's the money. Please, please leave me alone." Then he's like, "No, take off your clothes now." Now we're in my room. I'm like, "No, no, no, but I gave you the money." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "Take off your clothes." And I'm like, there's actually more money in my parents' room." So then we walk from my room past the bathroom to my parents' room with this guy. And then he's like, "Where's the money?" And I show him, because I remember my mom had 200 rand in her Bible. So I was like, "Here's the money." Then he took the 200 rand, and he was still like, "No, take off your clothes." I'm like, "No, man, like, no, I can't." Like, "No." Then it's like, "Take off your clothes," like with the knife. So I like, I got scared. Then I started like undressing, and it was like very scary, and like, anyway, yeah, it was hectic. And then I took off all my clothes, and then he pushed me on top of my parents' bed, and then like he climbed on top of me, and then I don't know whether he was trying to kiss my face or lick my face. It was just a very awkward, bad situation. So I'm like, anyway. And then at that point, guys, it was God, and I don't know, nothing else, because everything just happened. It just happened at the very like same time. So like, as he was on top of me, like, so I was naked, he was on top of me, and like he was dressed, and he had the knife on his one hand. And then at that point, God just came through. Everything just happened kind of perfectly time wise. So as he was on top of me with his clothes on, and I was naked, and then he's like in my face, then it was like a light bulb went on in my head, and I was like, "He come." So I called my sister out. I'm like, "Come, come, he's actually alone now." Because I just made the switch in my head at that point in time, as he was like holding me down. It clicked that, wait, we went to the bath, to my room, and then back to my parents' room, and our house is not that big. So like, we didn't, where's the other guy, where are all the other guys? So it just clicked at that point. So I told my sister, I'm like, "Come, come, he's alone now, come, come." And I think the guy then got a fright for like a second, and then I got off from then I got off, but my sister didn't come, guys. She was still scared in the bathroom. So I got off, but at that very same time, the gate like made a noise, the chain. My sister was coming home, my younger sister was coming home from school. So there was I said, "Come, he's alone now." And then like split seconds later, the gate crackled, and then I think he just got a fright from that. So as he was kind of a bit unsettled, I got off the bed and rushed to the bathroom. Then we closed the door like behind us, like smashed the door, and we were just pushing. I think he tried to open for like a few seconds, and then it was quiet again. And at this point in time, we heard the gate. So we knew that my younger sister was coming back from school. So we were screaming for her to not come. We're like, "Go, don't come, don't come." But I think she didn't understand what was going on. So she walked in the house, but the guy was gone. Everyone was gone, and a lot of things as well. So I remember she freaked out. She cried like she was the one who was there. Then it was the whole, we are all crying now. Like, I remember I walked out naked to call the neighbors, trying to get help with like a phone so we can call the police, call our parents, something. And I got some clothes luckily on the washing line. I got a jacket or something. And it was such a scary and unsettling moment, but I don't know, I feel like it was God. And I titled this My Savings Saved Me, but obviously it was God. But I feel like everything just worked together for the good, because at that point in time, like, the savings I had stalled him. Because if it wasn't for that, if like me having had that side hustle that I was doing at work and at school, having that money, he could have had time to rape me, because we wouldn't have done the whole run around the house where I can actually see that Aibo, this guy is now alone, where all the others, or the other one that he was with. And at the same time, that time bought me some time, because that was the same time that my sister came back and the gate made that noise. So my savings saved me, guys. And obviously it's not a good story. This is a story of the crime that we are subjected to in South Africa, that you like not safe in your own house. And it also talks to the point that that's basically how my first business died, because I didn't recover after that. I didn't have the capital to start baking again, but also I was about to write matric exams, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a bittersweet story, but my savings came to my rescue. I'm not advocating for people to keep money around the house. Please don't put it in the bank. But guys, you never know how your money can save you. It's a pandemic now. A lot of people have actually survived COVID because of their savings that they had in their reserves. So I will just like to encourage anyone. And now things are easing up, things are going back to normalcy just a little bit, but there's still a lot of uncertainty, and we never know when the next stress event or the next COVID, it might not be in the form of a pandemic, but 2008 is not so long ago. There was a recession, and now in another one again in 2020. So these things repeat themselves. So in a while, anything can happen again. So I just want to encourage you guys to stay on top of your finances, to save. And also, I just wanted to share this because it is Women's Month. Gender-based violence is unfortunately one of those things that we are subject to. Just the other day, guys, I was jogging with my husband, and it infuriates me so much that we still have to be so uncomfortable, like jogging on the street. But we jogged about 6 kilometers together. He was cycling while I was jogging the whole time. And I felt so safe, which is something I never feel when I go for a jog alone. And there was a split moment when, like, I was like, I'm gonna run down this road. If you do a loop, we want to see who's gonna get to that point first. So we was gonna cycle along a part of like a loop, and I was just gonna run straight, and then we were gonna see who was gonna get to the corner first. It was a small like race, but it was 200 meters for me and maybe like 600 meters for him. But between that point, from there to down that path, I bumped into someone. They're like, "Hey babe," and stopped in front of me while I was running. It just speaks to like why. Like literally we ran 6Ks. The only 200Ks where he was not with me was when someone approached me and stood in front of me. And throughout this whole time we were jogging, no one stopped because he was there. And throughout almost every other day, a lot of people passed comments the whole time. So it's infuriating. It's sad. And what upsets me more is how men will actually be mad at you when you try to avoid them because you know what could possibly happen. Like, let's say if I cross the street when I see a guy approaching, then he'll swear at me and be upset that I'm crossing the street, telling me how he's not a rapist or iskebengo, whereas he should just be, it's so sad that you feel the need to cross the street. But by him swearing and making those comments again, it reiterates the fact that I was not safe going to cross him. Anyway, there are just a lot of things. I pray for everyone's safety, and I was lucky, and someone else could have not been so lucky. It could have been that I'm talking about a rape and not an attempted rape on my life now. But it is what it is, guys, and hopefully some days it will get better. But for now, this is just where we at. Anyway, hopefully one day your savings will save you. So do continue to save, guys, and be financially lit. Bye.